Hey, you guys. Hi. It's coffee chat time with me, Catherine Oster. It's so funny. I never really know what to say at the start of my Facebook Live because I'm just going live. Nobody has joined yet. And so, hello to all of you people that will be joining and to everybody that is watching this in the future. How are you? Hey, I have a viewer. I always get so excited. It really feels like an eternity since my last coffee chat, but it's only been 6 days because the last coffee chat I did was on Thursday last week, and this is Wednesday. Um, Hi, can you type me in the comments? I would like to see if I can see comments today. Please and thank you. Okay, so for those of you who may be watching for the very first time, hi Irene, hello. And if you've typed in the comments, I can't see it, which makes me sad, which makes my face frown, which means I will be reading them after. For those of you that are watching this for the very first time, I'm Catherine Oster. I am a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness, and these coffee chats are all about the tools of access and how I live them in my day-to-day life. So often I talk about what's going on with me, and you guys can send in questions. So somebody has sent in a question for this week, and it actually tied in what I already wanted to talk about, so that's really cool. I love how that works. What is access consciousness? Access consciousness is this really pragmatic and weird set of tools that when you apply them to your life, you can literally change and or create anything, which is freaking amazing. I love it so much. And Access Bars is a hands-on body process that you can run on somebody else and yourself and allow yourself to energetically defrag your hard drive. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys this week is about a question to ask when it all feels heavy. So I'm going to rewind a little bit, and the last episode last week, I talked about me being gone to take a bars class actually, and with Reba and my husband and the cows. And Reba getting close to being shot. Reba is our dog, for those of you who don't know. She's our dog. She's a giant Alaskan Malamute, and she's 2 years old. And we recently purchased a herd of 40 head of cattle, and so they're in our yard by the house, living near Reba, and Reba believes and is so excited because we purchased her some chase toys. So Reba was in training for about a week with me, and I went away for a couple of days. Hubby had an oopsie incident with her. She got out and she was chasing the cows. Now, it was okay. None of the cows ran through the fence, but he was very angry, and he was about to delete her from our lives. And he phoned me and we chatted about it. And when I got home, we had a very different conversation. So I just want to a little update on Reba. She's doing really good. We are making different choices with her. And in fact, I had her walking through the cows with me a few times this week with her shock collar on because she respects that. And we didn't have any out of control moments. So it's coming. It's a work in progress. So looking at that day, Travis, he does use the tools when he uses them, and he gets it. He knows what a light choice is, and he knows what a heavy choice is. And it's so funny because what I use to reference with him is we made a purchase on the farm this spring, and we traded in one of our semis for a tandem truck. And that was a really exciting feeling, and he was really excited to get the tandem. So I told him, I'm like, this is a light choice. This is an exciting choice. This is a light choice. This is the feeling of expansiveness and creation. Hi, Krista. And so he has that as a reference point. So he texted me, we were chatting about Reba, and he said, well, when I asked the question, does keeping Reba feel light. He's like, I don't get that it's light. And I'm like, okay. And so when I asked myself the question, what would our life be like in 5 years if we killed Reba and put her down? That was heavy. And when I asked myself the question, truth, what would our life be like in 5 years if we keep her? That was also heavy. So I was a little bit messed up in the mind because both choices were heavy. It was heavy to put her down and it was heavy to keep her. But what I didn't ask energetically, what I did ask but didn't really know that I asked is, truth, what would our life be like in 5 years if we made a different choice with her? And that was really light and expansive. One of the questions I did ask was, truth, is Reba creating a greater future? And it was like, yes. So that question, that usually gets me. But when I looked at both of those questions, like, truth, what will our life be like in 5 years if we kill her? Hi, Sherry. Truth, what will our life be like in 5 years if we just keep her? Both of those were heavy. But what will my life be like in 5 years if we make a different choice with her? Now that was light. And that's what's been happening this last week, is we have been making a different choice with her. So Travis has even been being different with her. I was gone on the weekend to Davidson, Saskatchewan for some amazing classes. And so he had her by himself for both days. He chose to be different with her, and he did some things differently with her, and it is changing. Okay? So when I looked at to kill her, to keep her, those are polarity things. It's like the positive and the negative, and right and wrong. And none of those were light. But when I asked that question of a different choice, that really lightened it up. Now, when you ask that question, you don't always know what the different choice is. So you have to ask the next question. What can I be or do different to change this? What choice can I make to change this? And then you have to start trying different things. So, yeah. So, that's the words that I have for that. Now, how did I get to that? Well, I was visiting with my friend, coworker. I work for her, Crystal Crawford CF. We were chatting a couple of days ago, Monday, I think. And she was talking to me about some stuff that's been going on with her and her relationship. And where she was at was, should I stay or should I go? And both choices were heavy. You know, she asked the question, what will my life be like in 5 years if I stay with him? It was heavy. What will my life be like in 5 years if I go and leave? That was heavy. And then she asked, what will my life be like in 5 years if I make a different choice? And that was light. And so, hey Jen, hi, how are you? And I can't see any of your guys' comments, but please type them. Type me any questions and I will read them after and get back to you if you guys have questions. And so that is where, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what that was with Reba. It wasn't about killing her. It wasn't about keeping her. It was about making a different choice with her. And so how that different choice has shown up is, well, having her on a leash, showing Travis how to use her shot collar, being more present with her. And one of the gals that asked the question for the show this week is, it was about COVID and about how she doesn't want to lose herself in the COVID and in the COVID. In the COVID. That makes me laugh. I don't know why, but anyway, about dealing with all of the COVID protocols. More restrictions are coming up now, and it's not about, what I want to suggest to her and anybody else, it's not about aligning and agreeing with COVID. It's not about resisting and reacting to COVID. The question would be, what choice can I make here to outcreate COVID? What else can I choose here That is not about aligning and agreeing or resisting and reacting. You know, resisting and reacting is like, well, this is all just stupid and I'm just not gonna go anywhere or do anything. And you know, like resisting and reacting. Um, Aligning and agreeing is also buying into that you're a victim to it. That, oh my God, this is so terrible. Um, I can't I can't do this and everything, I'm gonna get sick. And like, so that's kind of aligning and agreeing. But what other choice do you have available to choose beyond COVID? It's about choosing beyond COVID. So for me, one of the choices that I'm making beyond COVID is to stay in the question and trusting what is light for me and that I'm aware and I know. Okay, so I have a foundation class coming up at the end of November. We're starting November 28th. And we are renting a room, a conference room at a hotel in Lloydminster. So this morning, I'm like, I got the hit to contact one of my hosts, the two gals I have hosting me, Barb and Denise, and just be like, hey, ladies, can one of you contact the hotel and see if we can still rent the room based on these new COVID protocols? And what are their rules? Like, what's required? What's the maximum amount of people? Like, we need to get this information. And today was the day. And so one of them got on it right away and they said, yes, we can still rent the room. They gave us the maximum amount of people was 10. And we had to wear masks, which I wasn't surprised about. Okay, cool. It's like, yes, we're still going ahead with the class. It's still there. Now, like 3 weeks ago, I have this amazing gal who works with me in my business and supports me and sends out emails and does some admin work for me, Bronnie, and she messaged me and she was like, hey, Catherine, should you make your foundation class online too? And I was kind of looking at that and I was like, no, because I'm going to have to figure out like some sound technology stuff, how people on Zoom can hear the people in the room, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of like, no, I don't want to deal with that right now. But there was something there I knew was going to be happening sometime. And then I'm like, you know what? Class, if you want to be online, make it really loud and clear for me. So today, when we were looking at the class, and all the people who have registered so far, we have 6 participants. So we are within the limits of what the hotel has told us. And I would like to invite more people. And what more people could join if we made it online? And I'm like, finally, okay, yes, this is the class. We're going to make it online like now. So I contacted my graphics gal. She's added online to the graphic. I've contacted Access Consciousness. We're changing the class posting to live and online. And I have phoned a tech store in Lloydminster called Sound Obsessions about getting the Bluetooth microphones and the mixer so I can connect them to my MacBook Air and have the audio and it can all be great. And so the class is really loud and now is the time. When I was looking at the microphones, I didn't know where to go. I looked on Amazon, but I'm always a little bit worried about Amazon and the quality I'm getting, and I don't fully understand this myself. So if I have another person who can explain it to me, that would be really great. So at first I was just thinking Bluetooth microphones. Okay. And then I'm like, well, what popped into my head next was I should talk to Crystal Crawford and ask her for her information, if that's all it is. And she's like, yep, you need Bluetooth microphones and you also need a mixer to have a really good, decent sounding recording. And I'm like, okay, mixer. So then I was looking on Staples and Best Buy and Lloydminster and they didn't have anything. And of course we're time, like the class starts November 28th. And I'm like, God, there's got to be another place. And I was doing my workout and I was just thinking, and when you are moving your body, like energy is also moving. You're transforming energy as well as working out, at least for me anyway. And so, and Sound Obsessions, this place popped like a stereo system. And I'm like, these people know about audio. I'm going to phone them. So I phoned him and the guy can hook me up and they can order it and have it here within 3 to 5 business days. So I know that the equipment will be here on time and the foundation class will be live and online. So the possibilities that's opening up is very exciting. Now, it was a big step for me to choose this because I have to purchase some equipment that I didn't have before. But when I asked the question, truth, is this creating a greater future for now, for the planet, for the bodies, for the people? It's like, yes. Okay. So with the foundation class, it wasn't about canceling it. And it wasn't about it wasn't about ignoring it and keep going ahead with it. It was actually about asking the question of what other choice can I make with this here? And that opened up the possibilities so much. So that other choice was adding online and getting information from the hotel about what's required now. So how can you still function and have a life beyond COVID while COVID is going on? You know, like, if you didn't have to align and agree with it, if you didn't have to resist and react to it, what can you choose beyond COVID now? And what reality can you strengthen for you? Because I know a lot of people have said that 2020 is the worst year ever and they can't wait for it to end. And when I look at my life, 2020 is actually one of the best years I've ever had. There's been a few things. We got the cows, which is my hubby's dream. So it's like his dream come true this year. I got a new horse trailer. The horse trailer that I have been dreaming about for probably 3 years now has shown up. I found it at a really great price and it worked out at a time in my life where I could afford to buy it. And we got a magic new combine on the farm, which we'd been asking for also for a few years. I just facilitated my biggest bars class ever in COVID 2020. In 2020, January of 2020, we all went on a family vacation to St. Lucia before COVID hit. And I remember we were getting back just as they started talking about it on the news. Like, truly, how does it get any better than this? And what if you could create your reality? And that is what Access Consciousness is about. So if you are looking for a bars class, if you are looking for something beyond COVID, I would encourage you to find a certified facilitator. Take some online classes with them. Take a bars class. Come to the foundation class I'm doing. Like, whatever it takes. What's calling you? All right. I adore you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And if you got anything out of this video and you think it's a contribution to share, I would be so grateful for you. And if you would like more information about anything, I'm going to put some links with this video. I don't know what. I've kind of fried myself with talking. Okay. I adore you guys. I'm so grateful. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you live for Coffee Chat next week on Wednesday, I think. Okay, bye-bye for now.